There's a saying that goes, gear doesn't matter. So this week, I'm gonna kind of put that to the test by making a YouTube video, vlog style, with my iPhone 13 Pro. So to give you some background, this week I'm gonna be going to Las Vegas for my friend's work trip / my opportunity to have a hotel room for free. I don't wanna take my Canon R5c because I would be devastated if it got stolen, and I have this kind of paranoia that if I take it to Las Vegas, it's gonna get stolen. What I will be taking is my iPhone 13 Pro, a very cheap lav mic that was $30 on Amazon. It's Ulanzi, I'll link it down below. A phone mount along with a tripod and another little tripod that my Canon R5c is on currently. 2 diffusion filters. These together were $24 on Amazon. And this mount that my brother custom 3D printed for me, so I can mount these lens filters onto my cell phone while keeping it in its case. I know not everyone has access to a 3D printer, but these type of things are also sold on Amazon, and that's what I'm gonna use to make this video. So I gotta say goodbye to my Canon R5c. Bye. The reason why I'm getting coffee right now is because my flight is about an hour and a half delayed. It was supposed to be at 10:34, but it's raining, so it's now supposed to be at 12:09. So, coffee time. I am now at the Las Vegas airport, but I am waiting for my friend Taylor to get here. I'm waiting at her gate, and dude, it's freaking packed in here, and I'm not really a big crowd person apparently, because that's what I'm feeling right now.
Pick it up for 30 seconds, they just fucking charge you.
Let's play a game. Let's just kidding.
No. They failed test number 1 of Taylor in a hotel. Up here. Look at all that.
My goodness.
But the rest of the room is clean, so that's good. So as a hotelier, I run 3 tests when I go into a room. I go to like any standing art on the wall and run my finger on the top to see if there's any dust. As we saw, there was a lot of dust. I check the mini fridge if it's not a pre-stocked one to see if there's anything left from the previous tenant. And then I like to look at the HVAC system, which is somewhere in this wall, to see if it's been cleaned recently. But you can see there is dust all along this portion too. So, you know, it's a beautiful room, beautiful view, nice and luxury, but the deep cleaning needs to be done.
Good morning. So, I just had to do that fake cheesy wake up scene because I love these drapes and I love making them open and close by voice command. I'm still kind of waking up. My friend went to her conference thing that she needs to go to for work, and while I'm waiting for her to get back, I'm probably gonna go to the gym and get some work done on my end. I feel like this week is going to be really fun because it's gonna be kind of a reset for me to get away from the house and just be somewhere else, because sometimes it just feels good to switch things up. Tonight we're going to see the Sphere. I'm so excited to go into the Sphere. As someone who makes video content and has heard so many things about it being the largest video capable screen, I'm stoked. Something that I'm realizing as I'm recording this is that this mic has a lot of background noise. I know it's a cheaper mic, so I didn't really expect the world from it, but just wanted you to hear it without the noise feature and without AI enhancer, because if you're interested in getting this mic, you should know what you're getting into, you know? So this is it without any kind of enhancing effects in Premiere Pro. I don't know what it's gonna look like yet, or sound like yet, but Just thought you would be interested in knowing that. The sphere! Something I realized using the walking way thing is the filter really much shows the reflection. So let me take that off. We just power walked like at least 3 miles. Oh my goodness.
At least we have margaritas.
Yeah, we got lost. Okay, where's the button? Okay, our button's over here. My goodness. Wait.
I would rate it a 7 out of 10. There was definitely a call to like humans ruin the earth and we're fucking terrible. And like the seats reacted.
Did the seat feel uncomfortable to you?
Yes.
My back started hurting like 30 minutes into it. I don't know if that's because I'm approaching 30, but I was like, fuck, I'm gonna need to pop my back after this thing.
Well, you know, you saying that, I saw someone like do like the crackety crack in the middle part, so I don't think it was just an us thing.
I had this thought where I wish the seat was slightly tilted up.
Yeah, but like we were on the 400 section, so we were in the topmost section, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like the middle of the top, so like there were still seats that were angled higher than us, but like we were in the top section.
In the center.
And I don't feel like, other than when we were in like the space star scenes, that there was really anything up above us to really like look up at.
Something that I took video of is towards the top of the screen, there were noticeable lines that really took me out of the experience.
I agree with that. That's why it was like, you don't want to like look up because it kind of takes you away. And again, it wasn't like anything was really going up that high.
Yeah.
Like,
but when it did, it was just like, oh, all I see is the lines. Yes, I am at the sphere.
I would say that the experience of soaring over California is kind of match. It's just
Where's
the
that
difference. That's in California Adventure in California.
Okay, I've never done that.
You haven't?
I've never done that. So when you said that, I was like, I can imagine what that is, but I don't know.
No, because you seem so in agreement of that. So I was just like, oh, you must know. So this is surprising.
I think I was like half out of breath, like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, the first like 20 minutes, I was just trying to get my heart rate down.
That's another thing. I don't know if you experienced this, but the sound was so loud sometimes, and the music in this particular thing was so anxiety giving that there were some points that the music made me feel anxious, but like in like a I don't know how I feel right now kind of way. Like the music was so loud and it gave my heart like a feeling where I was like, I feel like they're sucking me into it, but it's like almost like a feeling that I don't want to be sucked into. There were some points where I was just like, okay, don't freak out. I'm like, okay, and then it kind of like, yeah, I don't know. So there were like little parts that were slightly overwhelming.
Thing with the sound wasn't as strong with yours. Mine was more so the visuals. It just felt so intense, and then sometimes you would have like a blank white screen.
That one, yeah, I had
darkness,
to look away.
And I'm like, whoa! Like I don't know if it's the margaritas. I don't know if it's like my brain, but this was too much.
Yeah, when it literally at one point had a blank white screen. I had to look down at the seats in front of me because I felt like it would give me some kind of headache or spasm.
I can see how it would be kind of cool to do a concert there and experience a concert that has a lot of like video enhancements to it. I would be inclined to watch a concert in the Sphere to see kind of what that experience is, because I think it would be vastly different than what we experience with the Postcard from Earth.
Something that was interesting too that I think would be applicable for a concert is when there were people on the screen, it did feel like you were like this observer of them because they were so big, but from your viewpoint, it was almost like you were there.
Yeah. I think it's the closest experience to a VR experience without having the VR headset on.
I had this thought during it that it's like a collective immersive experience.
Yeah, you still get those crowd reactions because there was definitely like a couple of like quick starts where a bug was like jumping at us in a way, and so it was fun to see that crowd dynamic of the we
definitely heard a few people scream at that, and that was cool.
What surprised me is that it wasn't a 360 arena. That it was a 160 arena, meaning, you know, the seats just were horseshoe like with the big screen here, and the stage, of course, was down here, versus like at SoFi, it's that 360 experience. And I've been at a concert where I was in the deep depths of the nosebleeds, but with those 360 screens around, I still felt like I was down closer to the actual artist and was part of this experience instead of just like, oh, look, there's the ant performer down there, you know? And so that kind of threw me off a little bit, that it wasn't that 360 experience.
I felt like I was in a spaceship, and the back of it was just the back of my spaceship, and I was flying over these landscapes. And I think, too, something that I noticed is when it was a landscape thing, I felt more immersed because I felt like the size was more realistic. Whereas, like, when we're watching people, I did keep going in and out of the experience because part of me was like, oh, I'm there with them. But part of me is like, why is this person so fucking big?
Yeah, for example, like you were going over the landscapes and then you would cut to being like in a cab as like a passenger in the backseat of a cab. And that was a little off-putting.
And then for that scenes in particular where the seat was vibrating and like kind of like, I was kind of like, okay, this doesn't feel like a realistic feeling of me being in the back of a cab. And I guess this is me being like nitpicky with it, but I was like, okay, if you're gonna make the seats interactive, like make the seats interactive.
Soaring over California, you have that elevated experience where you're literally, your feet are hanging and you're kind of being tilted forward and back as you soar over California. And here it's very stationary with like a vibration where you feel like you should be moving, but you're not. So that kind of was weird.
Slightly out of the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I thought it was cool to experience. Like,
Yeah.
I don't regret getting the ticket.
No. And, you know, for context, we spent $100 to be on the top center section, and I feel like we got value from it. I feel like it was definitely something that I, like, checked off on the ooh, I did that. And if I were to come back with my husband, I would say, hey, let's do this because I think you'd really enjoy it. But I wouldn't personally go a second time just for my own experience. I would go as a second time for other people to experience it. So that's where I kind of go with the 7. Like, it's like a cool thing, but it's not a must-see of Vegas.
But with that being said, if the tickets were cheaper and this was kind of like a movie experience, I think I would be down. Yeah. Like if it was like a cheaper movie experience type thing.
I would totally watch a movie in the Sphere.
I had this thought as someone who creates videos. I was just like, dude, what are they shooting this at? Like, the max my camera shoots is 8K. And I've never really even shot 8K because what do I even watch 8K on? You know?
I didn't even realize there was an 8K.
And I'm like looking at this and I'm like, I gotta look up like what resolution this is because this is fucking nuts. Like when the millipede, they had a scene where it was just the millipede, where it was like a
centipede,
millipede, those are the same. Like it's like
I don't know.
I think a millipede is the big ones, and the centipedes are the tiny ones.
Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, what is a millipede? What is a centipede? But
that's what this video really is about.
But when it had the millipede, I'm sticking to it. I think it's a millipede. Because it was a fat one. When there was a millipede, it was a macro shot, so it was super zoomed up on this millipede and this praying mantis too. There was another shot. But badass. It was so clean and crisp and like zoomed in that I had to think, I was like, I wonder what their cameras look like. I wonder what the lenses look like. I wonder what resolution they're shooting this in. So I have to look it up. I'll probably pop it up on the screen. All right, cool. But yeah, in my mind, I was just like, holy shizness.
Yeah. One point I want to point out is that we were late to getting to the experience. So they saw the journey. Oh, yes, that's right. There was a journey. There was a lot of me like heaving because I don't exercise. So I was like, Angela, you're leaving me behind. But I feel like you can gain more value, and it might increase your rating of the overall experience, because there were a lot of different interactive things that we read online that we could have experienced, and just like our quick run through and then exiting of the building, we're like, oh, that was kind of cool. Ooh, like that's kind of cool. And so I can see if you were to get there right when the doors open in that time frame, you're allowed like what, an hour or so before the show starts to explore those things. I think that's where you can find more value in your ticket if you allow yourself to get there in time. But we chose margaritas.
And enchiladas.
And enchiladas.
Yeah, we chose food and drinks.
Yeah, we're not just straight alcoholics, I promise.
But we are in Vegas, so
This
is the place to be that if we, if we so choose. But yeah, I agree with that too. Because part of me was like, oh, I wonder what the interactive experiences were. But I did see online that some people that did go to the interactive experience were like, like we did the interactive thing, but it was mostly trying to sell us merch and stuff like that. So I don't think we missed out on too much.
Yeah.
But I even imagine if we got there probably 20 minutes before it showed or something, just to walk in around and check it out would have been better. But we literally got there like 1 or 2 minutes into the show.
I was convinced walking up that we would be like one of 20 people in this whole arena because of how like no one was there, and every entrance that we walked up to was like marked off and saying like, keep walking down this way and you might find a way in. And so like I think that that altered my thing when we like sat down. I was like, wow, there was actually people in here, even though it's a Tuesday in February.
Like, oh, we're just late.
Yeah, exactly. We're just late, but that's kind of just our MO.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it for the sphere talk, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to our ranting.
All right. I'm back. My goodness, how I missed you. All jokes aside, I just finished editing this video and I wanted to just hop on here to give you some final thoughts. So the question is, does gear really matter? And my answer to that question is, if it's the only thing that's preventing you from getting started, then heck no. Gear does not matter. But with that being said, I missed my camera. And as I was editing this footage, there were some parts that I wish that I had gotten with my camera instead. And there's a reason why I've invested in gear. And if you can't invest in gear at this moment, I think that buying a decent mic for your phone would suffice. The lavalier mic that I was using, the cheap little lavalier mic, not the business. As I was editing it, I had to add so much gain to it. I had to add the noise. I had to add vocal enhancers. It wasn't the best. And other than that, I guess the diffusion filters added a little bit of something to the video, but it wasn't completely necessary. And at night, they kind of became useless because there was so much reflection going on with the light, like what we saw with the sphere. And yeah, so there's that. I think though that this experience overall did teach me that as a content creator / YouTuber, whatever the heck I am, I need to work on vlogging. I think it's not my strong suit. I kind of don't know how to deal with the spontaneity of vlogging in terms of making a storyline out of it. And that's something that I would like to work on after making this video. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And until next time, bye.